Hi, welcome everybody. Here at the workshop, how to get production quality data in Unreal, Unity and Autodesk by Xsens. My name is Ole Bakker. I'm the business developer for Europe, Middle East and Africa 3D character animation. Next to me is Stefan Beuker. He is the product specialist, senior product specialist for 3D character animation worldwide. And this is Esther Maas. She is a model for this week and a famous actress. All right, before starting the workshop, I would like to introduce Xsens a little bit to you, to the ones who do not know Xsens yet. I think that would be wise. We are founded in 2000, so 18 years ago, in Enschede, the Netherlands, Enschede. We are a spin-off of the University of Twente. And we do mocap by IMU sensors and sensor fusion, so both hardware and software. Software is actually where the magic happens. But both of them are very high-end with Xsens. All the knowledge we have in-house, so both hardware and software, and we have 80+ employees and counting. Within Xsens we have 3 departments: 3D character animation, this is the film, the gaming, live entertainment, these kind of things, but also education. We have HMM, human motion measurement. This is more the biomechanical side, ergonomics, sports science, etc. And we got the inertial sensor modules, which is the industrial part. You can think about single sensors for oil offshore, unmanned vehicles, unmanned drones, these kind of things. All right. Yeah. So Xsens gives you production quality data in all conditions, everywhere. So you do not need a studio. You can do it actually inside, outside. It doesn't matter. You do not have to, or hardly have, any cleanup. Which is a big thing. This will make you very effective as an animator, and that's something that you don't need to waste time on that. The setup time is very shortly. You will notice that it will only take 10-15 seconds to set up, and setting up the system itself is around 5 to 10 minutes. We are magnetic immune. This is very important with IMU-based sensors. We are the only one in the world who can do this. And this makes us very robust and reliable, and this is what you will see later on during the workshop. We have a head office in the Netherlands, Enschede. We have a sales and support office in LA, Los Angeles, because of the film industry up there and also the gaming industry. And we have a support office in Hong Kong, and we have quite a few resellers. Not all of them are here yet, but these are just a few. To give you an idea to whom we are selling, I give you a few customer references, and at the end I will give you an example how the Xsens system is used, and then Stefan will start working with the workshop. I just give you some customer reference for creative agencies, game studios, visual effects studios, and live entertainment. So some creative agencies or congas are unexpected. These are from Köln and from Stuttgart, but also, for example, in Paris or in London we see a lot of these kind of studios. These are pretty big ones, actually. Within the gaming, you will see that all the big gaming studios are using the Xsens system, like Ubisoft, Activision Blizzard, some big names, EA Sports as well. And these are just a game that was launched just a little while ago, The Guardian of the Galaxy by Marvel, or Bosky, Lawbreakers, for example. And I always like to show this one, Messi in our suit. It's always cool to show, right? We do a lot of visual effects. I think for the FMX, very interesting. As you can see, our system is used by almost all big studios in the world, both for previs and for production. Like Marvel, Image Engine, Double Negative, you name them, we have them. This is the last movie we were used in, Black Panther, from Marvel, but also Thor Ragnarok, Dunkirk, Batman vs Superman, Independence Day, you name it. Very important nowadays is the live entertainment. We see this is getting somewhere. It's really booming at this moment. And to show you some examples, for example, this is done with Illusionist, a Turkish company, where the people are live on stage, right, and talking to a hologram. And this is also live, so the hologram is actually interacting with the audience and with the people on the stage for hundreds of people, which was really cool. Another one, this was a really nice one. It was an unboxing video by Kite and Lightning. Maybe you've seen this one, where they combined Xsens with iPhone 10 and their project Babylon. And this is a really cool one. I would definitely check it out on YouTube, Xsens, and then Kite and Lightning. You will see how it works. Really nice and funny though as well. And this is a project we did last year, a very big one, with the Royal Shakespeare Company in the Royal Shakespeare Theatre and Barbican Theatre in London, the biggest theatre in Europe, where a play is called The Tempest, where the main character, Ariel, is using our system on stage live for 3 hours in a row. The characters around him are actually talking to his avatar, to his ghost. And this actually shows that we are a very robust and reliable system, because there are thousands of people in the audience, and you can imagine you don't want the system to fail during such a play, right? And this was done 2 years ago here at FMX as well. At GDC, there was the real-time teaser for Hellblade, and I think it was just launched like a few months ago, and they won a lot of awards lately, which was really cool. All right, to give you an example, and then Stefan will start with the workshop. This is done by the mocap studio, together with No Ghost. I first will show you how it's made, so the making of, a very short clip, and then also a short video about what the result is. Here we go. This is the result.
Data is very important to us all here. We capture millions of data points throughout the championships, and we're constantly developing new ways to analyse and interpret them. It's about giving insight into the drama that's unfolding. Why does Nadal serve to throw his backhand on the first point of the pressure game? Why is a player winning?
All right, thank you very much. If you have any commercial question later on, you can always drop by and talk to me. And I would like to give the floor to Stefan, our Senior Product Specialist. Thank you.
Thank you, Ola. So what I first want to start off with is just to show you how easy it is to actually set up the system. So Ola already mentioned that setup time with the suit is approximately 5 to 10 minutes. So you're pretty quick in going from box to actually being suited up. So the first thing we always need to do is start with getting the system live, of course. Now, this works through regular Wi-Fi. Nothing really special about that. So we say what kind of suit configuration, which kind of scenario, and what kind of system we want to accept. Now, in this case, any is fine because we're using one. Do keep in mind that we support up to 4 systems simultaneously. So if you do want to do multi-person captures, for example, you can do that pretty easily by just adding a couple more. So first what we start with is the body height and foot size. So these are measured with a measuring tape that you'll get with the system. To get the best results, we also advise to fill in the rest of these as well. So the body height and shoe size are mandatory. The rest will get calculated by looking at a biomechanical model. Again, to get the best results, it's always good to fill these in manually as well. So in this case, I'll just leave it like that. Hit OK, and you can see that the system is already live. Esther, can you move a little bit? So you can see that it kind of looks funky. So what we need to do is calibrate the system. Now, as Ole already mentioned, the great thing about the new system is that it's immune to magnetic distortions. What are magnetic distortions? It might be steel in floors, for example, magnets around. Because we use magnetometers, we always want to look at north. Ferromagnetic steels or ferromagnetic metals, they have their own magnetic field around them, so it might set off the magnetometer or even a compass. With our software, you don't have that, so that's a pretty big breakthrough, which we are the only company currently in the world that is capable of doing so. Now, to show you how the calibration process works, so what we want to do is an end pose, which is a neutral pose, plus a wall calibration. So what Esther will do is she will stand in an upright, straight position. So what we want is her arms to be as straight down as possible, both from the front and the side. And the same goes for her legs, so as straight down as possible. Once I hit calibrate, I can start it. She needs to stand in the end pose for 4, 3, 2, 1, and walk. Now she needs to walk in a straight line, then she needs to turn around and walk back. Then stand at the position. Now, what it does now, it starts to calculate the calibration. It needs a little bit of time for that. As you can see, processing just calculates what to do with the calibration and how to work with it. So let's wait for that for a little bit. Now she needs to, during that time, she needs to stand in a relaxed state. You don't want to move too much because the engine is still busy calculating everything, so you don't want to clip the trackers, for example. Now once that is done, almost. Okay, so again in an end pose. So what I need to do is apply the calibration. Once I apply it, I also define my x-axis. So the direction she is actually facing towards will be my positive x-axis. Esther, can you walk around a little bit, please? So what we always need to do is warm up the system a little bit. So what we do after calibration is applied, it resets the engine and gives it a cold start. So you want to build up some history, all that, to really let the magnetic immunity kick in. So this is pretty much how easy it is to set up our software. So what I want to show you is pipelines into MotionBuilder, Unity, and Unreal. So first I want to check if my streams are already set correct. I think this one, yes, it's still set to, sorry, MotionBuilder. Let me just put that down. So MVN Studio is at all times, if switched on, streaming our data. Now, we have several plugins for different Autodesk products. So the one I'm showing you is MotionBuilder. We also have a live plugin for Maya. And we also go through an offline pipeline directly into 3D Studio Max. So what we need to do in MotionBuilder is, when you have the plugin installed, you get a few templates, which is a simple drag and drop template. So MVN Live 1 to 4 actors. So again, you'll get 4 skeletons. So if you're recording 4 systems at the same time, you will be able to stream those 4 systems simultaneously in MotionBuilder as well. Now, to show you how easy it is, so we just have the skeletons in here. All I have to do is go to I/O devices, double-click the MVN plugin and set it to live, and you can already see it streaming directly into MotionBuilder. If I want to retarget this data on a character, all I have to do is go grab just a regular, let me just grab the robot too, I always like that one. Just a characterized character into MotionBuilder. And once it's loaded up, the only thing I have to do is retarget the data from our skeleton coming into MotionBuilder onto that character directly. So I go to the robot 2, and I just say, okay, I want the data from C1 MVN character. As you can see, we have 4 characters. And it's as simple as that. So you just stream directly the data onto any characterized character you have in MotionBuilder. Now the great thing about our plugin is that it does not only stream, it also gives you the capabilities of actually recording the data directly into MotionBuilder, so it will just make you new FBX takes every take you record it. However, I do always advise to do your recordings in the MVN software as well, simply because we always record raw data. So it's just sensor data that comes in, and we always calculate that from within the file. So if you would have picked a single level scenario, which in this case would be that it assumes that you're always on the same floor, but you actually wanted to have a multi-level scenario where you can actually change different levels during your recording. You can actually change and swap back and forth in between those scenarios. Also body dimensions. So once we've measured Esther, but we see that we might have done something wrong, we can easily change those body dimensions, reprocess the file, and it will calculate everything from the information you give it at that time. Now, as I mentioned before, it is not only MotionBuilder where we stream into, also Maya. And I want to actually show you a little video of our friends at Unexpected here from Stuttgart. They're a heavy Max user, just to give you some idea of what kind of results you can get with any Autodesk product, pretty much.
Sam?
Weet je nog wat voor Unity vind ik wel? Dus ik ben het even kwijt. Ik weet het ook niet meer. Okay. So yeah, you can see you can do amazing things with our system. The guys at Unexpected love it because it gives them an incredibly fast pipeline. So if they have an idea, they just jump into the suite, do their animations, and at the end of the day, they can already have something in their animation ready to be rendered. So the next thing I want to show you is the direct pipeline into Unity. So first what I need to do is change up my stream. So this one is currently set for MotionBuilder or Maya. So I need to set this to Unity 3D. There you go. And let's get Unity in there. So what I actually picked for Unity is, probably most of you have seen it, the Atom assets that they've shown their demos to showcase what their engine, okay, you go away, I don't want you to connect, to showcase what their engine actually is capable of. So to show you how easy it is, I just took the default Atom character. The only thing I've actually changed is that it's in a T-pose instead of a neutral pose, because we do assume that the first pose is T-pose in Unity. What I always need to check is with this specific file, if it doesn't slow down, there you go. Let me just, where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's the prefab, of course. So what we always need to check with the rig is that it's, first of all, set to humanoid. Now, the Atom character was always that. And that the configuration of the model is actually correct. So let me just open that real quick. So you can see that the bone mapping on that specific character is characterized in a proper manner. So most of the MotionBuilder characters, for example, you can easily just import into Unity and start using it. So let me just click this away. I think Unity is a bit slow today. think he doesn't want to work with me. There you go. It's a heavy scene, as you can see, so it kind of has some minor issues with it. There you go. Okay, so what I need to do is simply just drag in my prefab, which is already in a T-pose, which I've already done before. Put that in the scene. I need to put it up here, otherwise you won't be able to see it, of course. So let me see. There you go. Just a bit down. So what I need to do with this specific prefab is I would need to add a script, which is our Xsens script, which is capable of getting our live stream onto the character. So the Xsens live animator. What I need to add to that is actually the script that gives you the capability to actually receive the stream and do something with it. So I go here to prefabs, drag in the MVN actors prefab, select this one, then drag that into the stream. So what you can do with this Xsens live animator is actually change the actor ID. Now, in this case, it is set to 1. Again, same as in MotionBuilder, we can stream up to 4 characters from one MVN instance. So you can actually change the actor IDs to the specific character you want to get the data from. What you can do in the MVN actors prefab is change the port that you're currently listening to. So our default port currently is 9763, but you can change that to different ports as well. Once I hit play, it should actually do something. It's a bit far away, I'm afraid, but as you can see, it actually moves instantly into Unity. So we see more and more clients these days that go to game engines to start doing pre-visualization. I mean, a good example is the third floor. They used a lot of MotionBuilder, but they went to Unity or to the Unreal Engine these days, simply because the live rendering capabilities of something like a game engine is incredibly powerful. Plus, it's fast to change things. You can just change things on the fly with a game engine, which makes it incredibly useful for previs, but also for live entertainment, as what Ole mentioned already. Is for live entertainment, you want to have the best and the most powerful live rendering engine out there to get the best impact to the clients or the audience you want to do. So a good example is DJs, for example. Skrillex is a client of ours who used our suite when DJing live on stage to run either a robot or an alien or something else like that. But also the Royal Shakespeare, which I'll show you a short movie on a little bit later. So again, it's pretty easy to get into Unity, as you can see. Just to give you an example of what clients do with Unity, especially this client is pretty neat. They're 2 people that are creating their own virtual reality game. So let me just close this one real quick. So they're called Five Finger Studios, and they're busy with The Days After, which is, again, which I just mentioned, a fully VR game with our suite, and they love it because they just go outdoors. You're not bound to a mocap studio, and even very small independent studios can use our system for really cool things.
Used to. I took a lot of things for granted. Waking up in the morning. Coming home at night. Just thought you'd always be there. Thought those days would never end. But those were the days before. And these are the days after.
I've never seen anything like this.
What happened here? Remember why I'm here? To find my family.
You need to get out of here.
So we're really ecstatic about what they're doing, because again, they're just two people which are just, they had an idea for a game and they just started developing it, and they got a lot of attention on Steam, for example. So definitely make sure to check them out if you have either Vive or an Oculus, because I think this is going to be a pretty cool game to play on at a later stage. So that's for Unity. So what I want to show next is actually the direct pipeline into the Unreal Engine. Now, currently what I'm going to show you is the pipeline through the iKinema plugin. We are currently busy on creating our own plugin, which goes directly into the live link from Epic Games itself. Unfortunately, I'm not able to show that today, but will be released soon. So do keep in mind that the iKinema plugin is a very, very powerful tool. So we want to provide a free plugin to clients that just want a direct pipeline into the Unreal Engine, but also want to give them the capabilities to choose for a plugin like iKinema because of its power as well. So we will give the clients the freedom to, pick whatever they want. So what I need to do for getting a live character with the iKinema plugin is, so what I just did is download one of the default assets from Epic Games, which is the shooter game. I just picked their character, which you can see here's the actual character skeleton, which it has. What I need to do with that is actually start creating iKinema rig with that. With that rig, I need to select that specific skeleton, so the hero TTP skeleton. I select that, I hit OK, and it creates my iKinema rig. So let's call it FMX for today. Let me open that real quick. So I won't be setting it up fully because I already have one set up today, but I'll give you a quick view on what it is you actually need to do to get this up and running in the iKinema rig. So what I want is actually, I want to import my mocap source. So first of all, I need to select from what source it gets. So they support VigaNetNet, Xsens, LiveLink, all sorts of things. In this case, we of course need to use Xsens. The server address, because I am streaming it locally, I can just call the server address 0000. The server port, which I've actually have set up in the MVN software, which is 802 currently, subject name. I can either call it the name of the character that's being streamed from MVN, or I can just give it the stream number that it gets it from. So in this case, it is stream number 1, so I can call it 1. We are actually streaming Z up, so you don't have to check the Y up. Now, if I click the import character, you'll see that it stands in kind of like a neutral pose as first standing. So this is not the perfect way to get that up and running. I think it's probably even gone. Oh, why isn't it importing? Ah, there it is. I just had to click it twice. So this is not the perfect setup. So if you, they advise to import the character without MVN running, because it will then be in a T-pose. What you need to do is actually match this skeleton, approximately size and posture, to the skeleton inside the actual mesh from Epic themselves. What you can do afterwards is actually delete the bones that we don't use. So MVN, for example, doesn't use the fingers. It's just to clean it up a little bit. I don't think it's really necessary, but it's something you can do. Once you have this in place, all you have to do is actually go to the mapping editor. And it's kind of like, mapping the bones like you would do in MotionBuilder or Maya. Just say that, hey, my hips are the actual pelvis that came from the Xsens skeleton, so forth, so forth. So you go through the whole mapping process. Once you have that, you can actually close this one. So again, once it's mapped, what we need to create then is the animation blueprint. And again, I want to use the hero TTP skeleton which I just imported. Hit OK, call this FMX for today. Oh, let me call it 2 then, because it doesn't want me to give it the same name. I can reopen this and actually start setting up the direct link from MBN into Unreal. So what I need to do is right-click. I can just search for mocap stream, which is from the iKinema live action. I tap this. I need to make sure that the root motion mode is set to, or sorry, where was it? Oh, I need to select it first, of course. I need to set the mocap engine or server to, of course, again, Xsens. Once I've selected that, I need to do pretty much the same as what I did when I imported the skeleton. So the server name, again, 00.0, port number 802. Subject name, again, I'm going to set that to 1. Deselect Y is up because we have Z is up. Is retargeting, yes, and I'd like to reconnect this. What I need to do then is, again, right-click. I can either go to, I think, iKinema Live Action. No, it's iKinema. But what I can also do is retarget, maybe easier. So I want to retarget to the, now this is the one I've already set up, otherwise it would have been the FMX iKinema rig, which is here, which is not set up properly, so I'm going to pick this one. So I say that the mocap engine should retarget onto this iKinema rig that I just created. All I have to do then is link these up to be connected. So this is the final pose. Again, which I just mentioned as well, is that iKinema is incredibly powerful. So if you go to iKinema, you have foot sliding compensation, floor level compensation. So to do stuff, especially on a live entertainment side, you can do a lot of trickery to, make it even better and give clients or the audience the best results you actually want. Now, for now, I'm just going to compile it. You can already see that it's doing something. Now, FMX2, the only thing I'll have to do is just drag it into my game, hit play. So Esther, can you move around a little bit? There you go. So you have a direct feed into Unreal. And of course, game engines can do a lot more than just stream a character. So, I mean, your imagination is where you can take it. You can make it as crazy and as cool as possible. So, yeah. So to give you an idea of what has been done in the Unreal Engine, so let me just close this one real quick and show you the actual movie from the Royal Shakespeare Company, which Ola already mentioned, which is The Tempest, to give you an idea of what kind of stuff you can do in game engines and where it will most likely take us in the next years, especially on the live entertainment side.
Like a combination of theatre, video game, and filmmaking skills all coming together. And it's what we call at the Imagineering the birth of next generation storytelling.
Many of the special effects were designed for one character, the spirit Ariel. He gets a skin-tight bodysuit, the kind used by actors in movies like X-Men, and is wired up with 17 sensors from head to toe. Is it a different kind of animal?
No, it's not. It's not. I suppose there's an awareness of the physical.
Nog even de post-processing engine. Nog even een beetje uitleggen dat we niet alleen maar dit hebben, maar ook nog even een beetje een stukje achteraan babbelen en dan even wat vragen of zo.
Ariel can create different versions of himself at will.
So, beyond the bank of computers, a ghostly
Ja, nou redelijk. Niks gecrashed in ieder geval.
you were given rare access to the final few days of rehearsal, to marvel a little, to eavesdrop. First glimpse then of the Tempest visually reimagined, Ariel, his avatar, and his master, the magician Prospero.
Sort of like a combination of theatre, video
So,
game, and film.
what I really love about what they've done is they use the system live on stage 30 days in a row, 3 hours per day without any problem. So that really gives you an idea of how robust our system is as well. So with the previous system, we really looked at, okay, where are things going wrong? What are clients sending back? Where can we improve this to make it that much better? So to give you a few examples, what we did with the current system is actually thread our cables with Kevlar cables. So you can actually really pull on the cables before they start snapping. They can take a lot of pressure, so you can throw around your actor if you want to. We always say that as long as you protect the person inside the suit, don't worry about the suit too much. Something that I didn't show you, so this was really about what we show live with the system, but we also, of course, have our offline pipelines. Now we export to FBX, BVH, C3D, and also MVNX, which is an XML-based file format, which we just give you the sensor data in an XML sheet. What you can actually do with the offline pipeline, so with live you might see some minor hiccups there because we have skin artifacts. I mean, every mocap system has some sort of skin artifacts. Trackers might move on the skin because muscles move too much, etc., etc. But what we have actually introduced with our latest 2018 release is not only the magnetic immunity, but also our HD processing engine. Now, what this does, it actually fixes and filters out skin artifacts and solves and actually cleans up the data for you. Just to give you an example of even the smallest things it cleans up for you. So this was a file that I took in Japan for a while back. So you see this one, which is the raw file. Let me see if I can just find a good part to actually show you what is happening. I think it was probably somewhere here. Let's see if I can just pick some parts. Let me slow down the speed a little bit. That's the problem if the data is already pretty clean. Yeah, this one, that's a perfect one. So let me just select this part and just play this back for a while. So if you look carefully, you see that, especially on the left arm, when he tries to punch, you see that it starts to shake. And that's pretty normal because the tracker, especially with high dynamic motions, due to inertia, the tracker might just move on top of the skin. So what we do with the HD processor, we actually filter out those imperfectness and give you the cleanest possible data ever. So you can see the left or the right side is already really good data, which you might be able to already use in the background, for example, but you want to filter out and clean up those kind of things because it's just not that pretty. But with our engine currently, that actually is a hands-free thing. So what you do is you pick a file, you say, hey, HD process, you walk away. Once it's done, it often takes around 10 times the actual length of the file. So if you have a 10-second take, it will take 100 seconds to process, and you'll get the clean data out of that. So you can just do your recordings during the day, then process it during the night. The next day you have cleaned up data you can use in whatever you want, game, films, or any other projects. So again, what I've just shown you is of course the live pipelines into MotionBuilder, Unity and Unreal. As I mentioned before, we also have a live plugin for Maya and an offline pipeline into Max, but we also have clients that use, for example, Blender, Cinema 4D, Houdini. Next to that, we also have a live plugin for, or actually a direct input into iClone 7. We go directly into the CryEngine, and we are always looking into software packages where we want to connect to. We want to make it clients as easy and as straightforward as possible. I mean, the easier your workday is, the better it is for us, because we will get happy clients. So I hope you enjoyed our workshop. I think we actually have some time for some questions, if any has one. Are there any questions? Yeah?
One question, how stable is the like the world center position if you move around a bunch, like a half an hour?
Yeah. So what we have is what we call positional inaccuracy. So we calculate our position by looking at the biomechanical model and the rotations, what we get from the trackers. So we normally say that with a proper calibrated system, because it does have factors, of course, you need to proper calibrate it, and you need to do proper body measurements, you should be able to get up to about 1% drift. But do keep in mind that if she does stand still for a half an hour, she will still be on that same spot. It really happens when she walks around. Something you can actually check out later this week. I think the guys from Moses are actually showcasing our system. They did an integration with their Star Tracker product to actually cope with that positional drift. Any other questions? No? Okay, well, thank you for joining, and hope you had a good time. And if you do have any questions later on, be sure to visit us at our booth.